Hello folks, welcome back to the Lorcana Lexicon. Today we are doing something that I've wanted to do for a long time, and that is revisit the Amethyst Emerald deck before Rise of the Floodborn comes in and changes everything up. My first Amethyst Emerald video is the most popular video on my channel. It's got the most views by a country mile, and honestly that makes me so happy because for so long I was saying to people, I think Emerald Amethyst is a good deck, I think this is a good deck, I think there's something going on here, and people were just like, nah, I don't think it's there, mate, I don't think it's there, mate. I made a YouTube video, people seem to really like it, and what we've seen is this deck just go from strength to strength to strength. Now, my initial version was made right back at the start of Chapter 1 Constructed, and it does look a little bit dated now. The way the meta has evolved with Steel Song and now these Sapphire decks just leaves a lot of the card choices I made back then looking a bit silly. So what I thought I would do for all of you Amethyst Emerald lovers out there is readdress the archetype, show you my final thoughts on what this should look like, and then play a few games before we say goodbye to Chapter 1 Constructed. Let's hop over and see the deck. I love Emerald Amethyst. Oh. Okay, so the first thing you'll notice is our one costs are very different. Now, if you remember in the first video, a sneaky Olaf managed to creep his way into our deck. This time we're just unironically playing them. There's so many decks that are playing Lilo right now that just getting an Olaf into play early can stop your opponent gaining up to 6 lore. I'm really liking Pascal. I initially didn't include him in the first build of the deck because I felt that Big Tinkerbell just caused them a lot of problems, but playing the 3 copies, I think you can kind of mitigate that, and if you're playing against Steel you can just ink them or play around Tinkerbell. It's not ideal, but Pascal just puts so much pressure on your opponent. We're seeing the mainstay of the deck next. We're looking at the 4 Flynns, the 4 Maleficents, the 4 Cheshire Cats, the 4 Kuzcos, the 4 Hatters, the 4 Hands, all of the stuff that you come to expect when you think of an Emerald Amethyst deck. And this just allows us to put a massive amount of pressure on our opponents, and then comboing your Maleficent with the friends on the other side, or having your Cheshire Cat sing it, it just keeps your cards flowing and means that you can continue to apply that pressure and you don't run out of gas in the late game. We're down to 1 copy of Befuddle. I would honestly play 4 Mother Knows Best if they were inkable. Obviously they're not. If they were inkable they'd be so good, wouldn't they? So I'm down to 1 Befuddle. It should maybe be 0, but I'm just trying to keep my inkable card numbers up. 3 Mother Knows Best, and Mother Knows Best is actually in a better spot in this build of the deck due to the fact we're playing so many more 3 drops than we were before. We're playing the Rafikis now instead of the Zeuses. We're playing Elsa, which we were playing before, and we're still playing the Jaspers. We have added 1 copy of Big Elsa. It just lets us close out the super late games, and it does give us a bit of flexibility shifting onto the little Elsa. I've tried playing more, they just seem a little bit clunky. And looking up above the Jasper here, this is the new package in the deck. Now, we always had the Genies and we always had the John Silvers, but the Tinkerbells and the Peter Pans have been fantastic. We are trying to put on pressure in this deck, and the biggest issue this deck has always had is Big Tinkerbell. It's that Tinkerbell coming in, attacking one of your characters, then spreading the 2 damage onto the next thing and causing a chain reaction that undoes your entire board. If our characters are evasive, it becomes a lot harder for Tinkerbell to get those good attacks in that she needs. So 4 copies of Tinkerbell and 2 copies of Peter Pan. We're now up to 3 Genies, just because I think these evasive threats are so important to this archetype for closing out the game. Again, if you wanted to play 4 Genies, I would not fault you. You could probably just cut that 8 cost Elsa, and I think you would have a very good deck. The main strengths of this deck have always been applying pressure, getting your cards back, and keeping your opponent on the back foot with things like Mother Knows Best and Genie on the job. John Silver running interference as well as being a 6 cost inkable is still fantastic. He still deserves a slot in this deck. Let's hop over to the games and see how this final version of the Chapter 1 Amethyst Emerald aggro deck fares into the current meta. That's a lot of uninkables. I'm just going to put back all of these, I think. This will be good. Maybe I should be keeping Rafiki, maybe I should be putting this back. Okay, regretting not putting Rafiki back now, but now not having a 2 makes me kind of want to keep this Olaf around to protect our Pascal. So let's get rid of Jasper. Pascal, in you go. Okay, what are we up against? Steel. Okay. Pascal. Pascal, mate. It's not looking good for you, buddy. It is looking like a good game to have an Olaf, though. Steel's song doesn't normally play Lilo, so I wonder what's going on here. I don't think this is going to be a Cheshire Cat game. I think our turn 3 is going to have to be, yeah, get our cards up to fight whatever they're fighting, or use Rafiki to kill their Simba if that's what happens. So we'll do that. If they just go Simba here and we get to Rafiki, have Olaf eat Lilo, we're feeling pretty good. Stitch, okay. And then no quest. Well, no quest gives me a lot of breathing room. I would like my card, please. 2 Kuzcos, wee bit awkward, but we are going to get to sing next turn, so we're hopefully going to find the inks that we need. Okay, smash to ink. So what's your 3? Probably the Ariel. The Tinkerbell. Okay. Okay. So big Tink coming down. Makes things a decent bit awkward. If this is a big Tinkerbell, okay, you've successfully slowed us down, opponent. Now again, I'd love to get another Pascal out here, but just in the face of big Tinkerbell, I just can't. Yeah, we didn't quest with everything else there, because if that's a big Tinkerbell coming down, it just eats our entire board up. Puts 1 damage on everything, gets rid of Pascal, and then Tinkerbell attacks Maleficent, and then uses the damage on Maleficent to finish off the Olaf. Probably attacks the Olaf, just so it's less damage on the Maleficent. Yeah, there's the big Tinkerbell. Okay. Kinda what we expected. Okay, and I grab your swords. It does mean that they are pretty much out of gas now, though. So we're going to be... I mean, we're probably going to be inking both anyway. I'm going to start with the Hatter, because I'm always just going to play the Kuzco over the Hatter anyway. So let's get the Kuzco down, and then we'll quest for 3, get John Silver to force the Tinkerbell in. Okay, there's the Ariel. What does she find? A whole new world would be... nothing. Okay, Ariel misses. That feels good. So... yeah, let's ink Olaf, and we'll make... yeah, okay, this will slow them down significantly. They're just not going to be able to ink as hard, and the only way to save the Tinkerbell here would be to run a bunch of stuff in. But I imagine... okay, Lilo... Quest, okay. Okay, so... ink this. We'll just get both of these down. So I think we just need to... take them off their nonsense. Now maybe that was bad, because now it means the Tinkerbell can attack here, we can get chip chip chip. So I think instead of forcing the Tinkerbell to attack, we're forcing the Lilo to attack. Did I not quest last turn? Ugh. If that's what I lost this game on, now that I'm looking at this, we're going to get Tink in here maybe? Tink in here, finish off the Rafiki. Okay, Tink in here, finish off the John Silver, makes a decent bit more sense. Okay, or whatever. Yes. Man, I'll need to look back at that VOD. Did I just not quest? It's really bad if I didn't. Really missing the point of this deck if that's how I decide to play it. Our opponent's pretty ink choked though. We can definitely claw way back in here. Yeah, that's probably hitting the ink straight away, unless we're seeing a little stitch coming down here. No. Alright. Quest. Let's race. And grab your swords here is not good. It's going to be ink, Rockstar. And then he's going to have to... Okay. So... Is that good? That's actually really good. It's perfect. Perfect, some would say. Quest. Get this guy down. Send you back to hand. Man, imagine how much easier this game would have been if I'd quested that turn. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't mess up. Yeah, grab your swords here. I've still got lethal. Another big tink. Yeah, big tink doesn't do it. And that's it. Okay. Impressive. Taking out Steel Song. Okay. We'll take that one. Okay, big Elsa with no little Elsa. Not really where I want to be. I'm just going to put it back, I think. And I'm going to keep everything else. We're going first. So we're probably inking this Peter Pan. Yeah, let's do this. Okay. The irony. Yeah, let's just get Olaf out. Let's just start questing from turn 1. He's not exciting, but you know, we're an aggro deck. We just need to get things into play. Okay, another amber opponent. Okay, giving absolutely nothing away here. Maybe we're just not going to be able to leverage the Elsa into what our opponents are up to. Where's Quest? Can't imagine what bad thing happens here. And yeah, let's put the Jasper away. And then next turn again, just getting these Maleficent trains going. It's the reason you're an Amethyst. You're playing Amethyst so you can do Maleficent, Friends on the other side, and just keep the pressure on for these green decks. And just the fact that like the things you care about. Okay, that's really putting a. Now, I mean, in this case, yeah, I don't actually think the Tinkerbell is going to be that good. But again, I don't think we're wanting to play a control game. We might just have to ink the Elsa next turn just to stick to the plan. Okay. Well, we're definitely inking the Elsa now. But Big Tink is just so threatening for this deck, and on every axis it's just horrible to play against. It's the reason that I dropped the deck, you know, when Steel Song started becoming the it thing to be doing. There was just so many big Tinkerbells knocking around that it just felt futile to even try and play into that. Okay, Whole New World. I mean, Whole New World isn't the end of the world for us. We are going to get to put a bunch into play. Now, if we quest with hands, it just gets eaten. Is that okay? It's probably okay. Yeah, I don't really think we can afford to just sit around. This is maybe impatient, but we just have to start making things happen. Again, we're fearing the big Tink, so Pascal is just not our friend this game. Big Tinkerbell, bang, eats this. Okay, so that means we just do have to quest with this to play around the big Tinkerbell. Now we've done that. And then And then who comes out? Is it Maleficent Flynn, or is it Maleficent Flynn makes... Yeah, so I think it's this. Maleficent Flynn just makes a grab your swords far too good. Now these are the boards, funnily enough, that I saw this deck lose in the finals to. This green-purple deck just couldn't keep up with the Rockstar Stitch boards. So if our opponent explodes onto the board this turn, I don't think we can catch back up. If we get to put a Genie down next turn and really offset this Stitch, okay, that probably means we're not seeing a big Tinkerbell, which is exciting. Okay, that means we're definitely not seeing a big Tinkerbell. Ariel to ink, so what? Aladdin, okay, draw. Okay, this is the turn I was afraid of. We do get to eat the Aladdin, another Aladdin, okay. And a Lilo. God. Man, are we the control deck now? We might be the control deck. We have to just get rid of this Stitch, or this is going to keep happening. So, get rid of Aladdin. I'm going to hold this, just because it does put our opponent behind. Flynn? Man, inking a Flynn seems terrible, but yeah, it might just be where we're at in this game. It's maybe one of these card draws, but I find it so hard to ink card draw with a straight face. Now our opponent's +6. They're going to go to 10, but they're not going to go to 10 because they're going to somehow deal with this. It's crazy, but I think, because I do want to eat one of these two, but we're just going to get so many opportunities to eat these two. Whereas if we do this, this makes his attacks back awkward. Because it even means a big Tinkerbell has to attack the Hatter to deal with it. Hand is absolutely jam-packed full of cards. Okay, Rapunzel. Okay, Rapunzel is okay, because Rapunzel means we're not getting big Tinkerbell this turn. This turned into what I felt was going to be an absolute wash into quite an interesting game. Where I just don't feel like we can catch back up though. Like we are not a control deck. But our opponent's just going to let us quest. So quest for 9, we quest for 6. Quest. I mean, he's just so susceptible to a big Tinkerbell, isn't he? I feel like we just have to quest with him just to do something with him, because we're not going to get a nice attack, I don't imagine. Now +9, I think we can put an Aladdin back in our opponent's hand. That seems like a reasonable first step. Then next step is probably just getting another Hatter down. And then we'll ink a Flynn Rider. Basically, he's got so many cards that I think we just have to try and force an end state on this game. Which is maybe a reason to be putting these cards back, but I don't know, it's tough. It's tough to put back cards that are just like free cards, you know. Anything that says draw a card on it, I think is always just worth holding on to. Because, yeah, you're going to get more material in the later game. Yeah, our opponent just has an embarrassment of choices. The only nice thing about your opponent having a handful of cards is they have a lot of choices, which means they have the opportunity to make a mistake. That's the one silver lining of your opponent having too many cards, is there's more opportunities for mistakes. But an opponent who isn't going to make a mistake is going to absolutely crush you, because they're always going to make the best choice, and they're going to have a lot of choice. Okay. Rafiki is actually great. Rafiki buys us a lot of time on this board. Yeah, I think the game plan just has to be present lethal, which probably means we're just running the hands out. Which probably means we're inking the Maleficent, because that means if we draw Kuzco, we can go hands Kuzco next turn. And we're going to get a lot of draws anyway, because if they are going to deal with these hatters, they're going to have to attack them. And our opponent has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards in hand and is on the brink of losing the game, because this is the hard one to deal with as well. The fact we went to 18 and have an evasive threat in play is scary for our opponent. Like, this is going to have to be like a sing grab your swords and big tink, which he can definitely have. He doesn't. Oh, he can still do both, he can still do both. He's digging for the grab your swords. He didn't find it. It's going to ink. Is Genie just going to steal the game? Is the Genie going to steal the game? A whole new world, okay. Okay, he's still got 5, he's still got 5. But grab your swords. How does he beat the Genie? I don't think he beats the Genie. I don't think he beats the Genie. Oh! Oh! Yes! Green Purple still has it. Hey folks, thanks for making it to the end of the video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a like and consider subscribing. It's so helpful to me, especially if you came back from the first Emerald Amethyst video. It's been such a wild ride from starting this channel to getting to this point. If you've been with me from those early videos, I just want to thank you so much for coming on this journey with me. And if this is your first video, a very warm welcome to you. Keep thinking happy thoughts, folks, and I'll see you for the next one.